And welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Backstage Pass. Of course, they're always presented by our good friends over at Toir Guitars. So check them out if you're in the market for that custom-made guitar at tourguitars.us, and also Bangtail Whiskey. If you haven't had a drop, man, what are you waiting on? Easy Liquor app and bangtail.com, and you can get the whiskey sent right to your door there at the Easy Liquor app. Type in Bangtail, and you don't have to leave your house. It's pretty much like shopping online there, as most people love to do these days for convenience. Big show coming up today, 4:30. Ken Wilbur is going to join us, a Nashville recording artist. And later this week, Miss Jeannie Seeley is coming back here on the program, Grand Ole Opry royalty. Pleased to welcome in here as we get ready for another great show here. She's a show favorite. She's been on before, Nashville recording artist Payton Howie. What's going on?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Staying busy. You know, it's always good times here at the Backstage Pass. We're always doing some cool stuff out there, and you got some really good stuff going on. Run Boy Run is a single you guys released there back in early February or middle of February before the Valentine's Day. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but I want to go back to the top because it's been a while since you and I had visited through this thing called the Backstage Pass, and I remember that story you told me last time, brought up on stage by none other than Carrie Underwood herself, at the age of 5, and you never looked back. This thing was always kind of in your blood, you know, from a young age, right? This performing, this musician thing, right?
Yeah, for sure. That was a pretty life-changing experience, getting up there and like looking out and seeing all those people playing music. You know, it was just that was awesome. That's a life-changing experience for sure. And since then, that feeling, I was like, you know, I'm that's what I want to do. That's who I want to be. That's what I want to do. So I love playing music, and I love playing music for people. So.
And it kind of caught the itch there you talk about, but you also have that old school kind of Johnny Cash, Reba feel about that from musical influences. What was it about those particular artists that really kind of elevated you to know that this music thing was it for you?
So growing up, my parents raised me on the good stuff, you know, like Loretta Lynn and Willie Nelson, all that good stuff. So that's kind of like what I was raised on, and just the authenticity and in certain aspects, the simplicity of their music as well is kind of just like, it really hits home. And it's like the kind of song you can play in your truck while you're driving down the street. You know, it's like the truth and the stories that they tell, especially like a lot with Loretta Lynn. Like, she talks a lot about her life, and a lot of the women in country music as well is something that's really kind of inspired me, like Dolly, you know, and a lot of kind of the oppression, I would say, that they've faced, and kind of breaking through and paving that road for a younger female artist like me. So that's why I have a huge respect for traditional country artists, and especially the women in country music.
Yeah, great appreciation there, no doubt. And, you know, I tell you, this past year, as we all know, 2020 was kind of like a blur. You know, I became for the first time, and then all the COVID stuff. I mean, how do you, as an artist, how do you kind of re-engage yourself or rededicate yourself, I guess is the better way to put it, through songwriting, releases? Oh, this is not the right time for this, or this might take a couple of more months to put out, or just with the crazy year that it was, how did you find yourself keeping busy throughout this last year?
Well, if I'm being honest, I was lucky enough to be one of the few artists that was still able to play shows, you know, because I was spending a lot of time in Texas playing shows at places that was still, you know, having live music and doing all that stuff. And so I was able to do that. I was still able to play some shows, and also getting on live streams like this one here, or Instagram lives, Facebook lives, still connecting with people from like across the country. That's definitely something that quarantine taught everybody, I think, especially as a musician, to be on live stream and just sitting there with the guitar playing songs, being like, hey, well, what do you want to hear? Like, hey, how's it going? You know, getting to still connect with people. So I stayed busy doing a lot of that. And over, I would say back in December, I finished up with my team in Nashville, writing my new EP that's coming out at the end of this year. So I have a ton of new music. Run Boy Run was the first single off the new EP. So I've been extremely busy with recording new music and all that stuff. And a little inside piece here is next week I'm shooting my very first music video for a new single that I have coming out Memorial Day weekend. So that's what I've been busy doing, and I'm super excited about new music for sure.
That's awesome. Gotta love that too, especially when it comes out. You guys have the dates and know when it's going to drop here. I know one you put out last year that continues to be on my playlist there is the F-150. I think that's just one of the best singles that was released. I had to put that on the playlist, girl. That was one of the best ones I thought of 2020. So when I like it, I'm going to put it right there at the top on the shuffle, and it's just going to continue to play because I do spend a lot of time on the road now, at least getting back to the traveling. In fact, we're going to last weekend was my first live show at my brother's restaurant over near Sealy, Texas, going out west that way towards San Antonio. And we saw a couple of Texas artists play out there, Mandy Powell and Brianna Adams. And I look back and I said, this has been weird. Like I went to the Houston Rodeo last year, and it's been over a year since I've gone to a concert. Well, that's about to change over the next few weeks. My point being that F-150 is on the playlist of the songs that you plug into Apple Music in your car, USB, and you get it going. That's the best. So definitely F-150 is my one of my jams I listen to from you. So I love that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Particular song. Well, I'll tell you what, it's time to play one here on the show, and we can start wherever you want. We can start with the latest single or a dealer's choice, I always like to say.
Man, so I was thinking about that, but I'm going to save Run Boy Run for last.
Okay.
I'm actually going to kick it off with some Catch Flights, and then I think I'll do F-150 somewhere in between there.
Sounds good. Here we go.
Awesome. All right, Catch Flights. Wrap around front porch, white picket fence of me, and I thought I should be in love and stay here like our parents did for everything then. But honey, that ain't us. You made that pretty clear since you took off. Hell, if I'm staying here so long to settle down, baby, I gotta go. I found the cure for lonely. Sayonara, adios, I'll be waving goodbye. My first class window seat. Boy, you can't compare to some. Yeah, I'd rather catch that feeling. My mama dreamed of seeing me all dressed up in white, but now the only eye that I've been looking down is serving a crown in the spray. So long settling down, baby, I've gotta go. I found the cure for lonely. Sayonara, adios, I'll be waving goodbye. My first class window seat. And boy, you can't compare to the size of shit. I'd rather catch flights than feelings. There's a handsome stranger next to me, trying to catch my eye. Slips of me his number, but just don't ever time. So long to settle down, baby, I gotta go. Found the cure for lonely. Sayonara, adios, I'll be waving goodbye. The first class window seat. Boy, you can't compare to the size of sea. I'd rather catch that. Thank you very much.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Boys, if you hadn't tried that yet, man, you want a good nap? That'll put you to sleep in a good way. Bangtail Whiskey, appreciate what they do for the program here, of course, bangtail.com or the Easy Liquor app. And also Ed Rice over at Toir Guitars if you want that custom-made guitar done right. Payton Howie here on the Backstage Pass. So coming up at 4:30 Ken Wilber's going to stop by and join us too as well. And then next week, cannot believe I'm saying this, but the legend in music, my goodness, Bonnie Tyler's coming by here on the show. My goodness, hard to believe that more good things happen here for the show. But I tell you, that song is very catchy, and that's also another one, albeit on my playlist, that I love a lot from Payton Howie, which is great. Let's go back and reminisce that one. I know we talked about it on the audio side last time, but pretty cool how this one came together. Kind of tell that story a little bit.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was a song that was it was very what's the word I'm looking for? It was an anthem. I don't know what you would use as an adjective for that, but it was a total anthem for anyone that's ever been put in that box. And it was kind of ironic because when I recorded that song, I had literally just gotten out of a relationship just like that. So I was like, man, I know there's got to be someone out there that's gone through that exact same thing. That's like someone telling you what to do, someone saying, oh, you got to stay and do this. You got to be this way, And so that was kind of my story. And I mean, I've actually had a lot of people be like, I totally have been there. I'll be playing this song at shows and people be like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what you're saying. Like, I've been in that relationship. It's like yelling it out. I'm like, see, I know what you're talking about. We've been there. So that's kind of Catch Flights. Catch Flights is more of that, sassy, like, you're not going to keep me in this box kind of jam for sure.
Good song out there too. If you don't have it, it's out there across all the digital platforms, as well as another one I liked last year, kept tabs on you. Troublemaker. My goodness. Watch out now. We know kind of know what that one's about, but hey, explain to the audience too that Troublemaker has a nice ring to it. What was it like to release that one?
Thank you. Yeah, Troublemaker was one. I wrote that one my own. And, Troublemaker was really just an expression of myself. And it was kind of an interesting story of how this song came to be. I think growing up, I had always been kind of more on the outside. Like I always had like a decent group of friends and people that I like to hang around. But if like the circle's right here, I was kind of always just on the outside. And I had that personality that, unintentionally got me deemed a troublemaker. And I was thinking about it one day. I was playing music with one of my friends that we both ended up kind of being troublemakers back in school. And so we were talking about it. I was like, man, we sure were troublemakers. And so I sat down a couple days later and I wrote this song about what it is to just like challenge people's way of thinking and being out there and just going out and doing your thing and being different. And I put it into kind of the story of a cheeky love song. And it was funny because during that time I was, kind of experiencing like that, especially during, COVID, it was right before COVID hit. And then when we kind of came to that halt, it was like, you know what, like we're going to cause some trouble. You know what I'm saying? It's going to kind of get out there and make a mark, be different. So that's kind of what Troublemaker was all about.
Love it. Love the stories where songs originate from. Then you have this thing called F-150 come along, and I want to say, if I get this right, the West Coast Country Music Association Song of the Year. Is that correct?
Yes, that was awesome. Okay. So F-150, that was actually the first song I'd ever written, and I wrote it back when I was 16, and I just had started driving around, and I found myself anytime I was, down or anytime I needed to clear my head, I was out driving my truck. I was going off-roading, like up in the hills and tearing up a dirt field. And that was kind of my thing when I wrote that song. And I remember it was like 3 a.m. and I was just not feeling it. So I got in my truck and I wrote that song at 3 a.m. And I put that out there because I know everyone's got that thing. Everyone's got that thing that you do when, you need to clear your head or you need to just, blow off some steam. That was what that song was for me. And it's crazy because just within the last, I would say, year, that song has really just spiked like crazy. We're almost at 250,000 streams on Spotify alone, which has been insane because it just kind of blew up out in Australia and in just a couple of other different places, which is awesome. So if any of y'all are streaming F-150, thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love and support on that song, especially being that was my first one that was mine. So thank you.
A lot of cool success too. I know last year for you, was it the Rising Star Josie Award for 2020? Let's talk about that a little bit too, because I think just more good things keep coming your way. You received that honor too, right?
Yes, I was super honored to receive that award. I honestly, when I received the nomination, I was really shocked, and I looked at the list of people in that category, and I'm sure you can find it somewhere on the internet. The list of artists that was there for Rising Star. I was honestly surprised I won that because there were so many amazingly talented artists that were there with me, and I was super honored to have won that award. So. Thank you all so much. I appreciate that.
Hey, man, like I said, when they're out there and you do good work, people recognize it. And I'm sure the industry and the peers and all that great stuff out there, and of course, the different associations and all that good stuff out there can recognize a true talent. And we've got one here on the Backstage Pass. You ready for a little F-150?
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
All right, y'all. So this one's F-150. I hope you'll like it. Heart broke, feeling hollow, been kicking it by myself, strumming my Fender and bartenders. I've been my go-to for mental health. But I know when I'm late night thinking and my mind's playing tricks on me, I gotta get my boots on, get up, get going, get my keys. Gonna shed one more tear. My awful love song is the engine rubbing in my ear. Drive through seat, four wheels is all I need. As long as the dirt keeps flying and boys keep lying, I be baby in my F-150. Baby, don't try to save me, 'cause I'm getting lost with my girls. We're drifting and I'm lifted high above your world. And I know when I'm late night thinking about what you did to me, I gotta get my boots on, get up, get going, get my keys. Rubbing in my ear, drive through street. Four wheels is all I need. As long as the dirt keeps flying and boys keep lying, I be baby in my F-150. Shed quite a few tears, but my broken heart knows all I gotta do is shift these gears. I ain't gonna shed one more tear. My awful love song is the engine rubbing in my ear. Baby in my F-150. Baby in my F-150.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
That song is kicking some tail out there for Payton Howie. Came out last year and has never looked back. So everybody out there supporting her and her brand of music, thank you for streaming that, as I'm sure she would say here on the Backstage Pass. So Brandon Morrell here, presented by our good friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and, of course, Toir Guitars. Don't forget today, 4:30, Ken Wilbur is going to join us here on the show. We'll find out what's been going on in his camp. And then this week, Jeannie Seeley on Thursday as we wrap up the shows for this week. Yeah, no shows on Friday, no doubt about it. Got to breathe at some point, Payton. It's just been back to 10, 12 shows a week. And I was like, I'm just going to take off a couple of Fridays and just kind of just chill a little bit. Got to have that too, just like you guys do, have the break. Love that song. We're going to do the latest Run Boy Run. But I know also, too, you're excited to be a part of this. Thank God these things are slowly coming back now. I cannot wait to get out to enjoy live music here again in a couple of weeks. But a big tour for you guys, the USO tour in 23 coming up here, 2023. Let's talk about that. You've been involved in this before. This is a great thing that benefits first responders. And this is a big tour for you, and exciting times coming up as we hopefully get rid of this COVID thing, or at least eliminate it the best we can. Talk about this USO tour coming up in 23.
Yeah, I was honored to be asked to be a part of the USO Tour 2023 up in Seattle. We're going to be there playing a couple songs, some of our original music, and they have us doing a couple songs during the ceremony as well. So I'm really looking forward to getting to be a part of that and getting to represent the USO. So it's super awesome. I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to getting to meet some of the other artists that are going to be there as well. And super honored to be there to provide some entertainment for our servicemen and women. Super excited.
Love it. Thanks to our U.S. military and first responders, all the work that they do out there here. We just, like I said, our many thanks here from the Backstage Pass. And I know you mentioned the first EP is coming out this year too.
Oh, yeah.
Without letting so much cat out of the bag, we talked about the first release of the song we had talked about, Run Boy Run. But I guess as much as you can say, do y'all have kind of a timeline on when fans can expect this release?
Well, to be honest with you, we have everything's done. So it's
Mm-hmm.
I have to say this is going to be the longest few months of my life. But we're releasing some singles from the EP as the year goes on. I have the next one coming out. Run Boy Run was the first one. I have the next one coming out on Memorial Day weekend. So that is going to be super exciting. And we're shooting a music video for that one. So that one's going to be out there. So if y'all don't already, go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Payton Howie, so you guys can see that music video, because we're in the process of it right now, and it's super exciting. My team is doing a fantastic job, and I'm really looking forward to that. And then we have some other singles coming out. I can't exactly say when, but trust me, they're coming, and I'm so excited. Like, each one is just a different piece of my heart, and I'm just excited to share it with everybody.
Each one tells a different story out there. Well, it's time to talk about this one 2 days before Valentine's Day. I guess if you want to make a boy run, then Run Boy Run. Here it is from Payton Howie on the Backstage Pass. And I guess if you want to keep the girl around, you end up staying, or you Run Boy Run. So here we go, girl.
All right. Let's do this thing. All right. So this one is my most recent single, Run Boy Run. So check it out if you haven't yet. I hope you'll like this one.
Kissed her in the dark, saying silly things you never tell nobody else. You can match that lights, the spark, the dream, the heart, until that heart has nothing left. Boy, I promise right here honest, you can't outrun a guilty conscience. Gonna lose her, yeah, that truth hurts. I ain't gonna sit and watch you use her. You should already be long gone, wrong boy, right? 'Cause I got the ripped gene attitude. Gonna make it up for you. Boy, what's done is done. Karma, she's a bitch. She's got a different point of view. Because of the way you play her, I'm gonna be your troublemaker. You took something you shouldn't take. Don't underestimate the injury now. I gave you 3 steps towards the door before you feel the pain you never felt. You should already be long gone. be cautious. You should already be long gone wrong, boy, right? Cause I got the Rick Jean attitude, gonna make it happy you. Boy, what's done is done. Karma, she's a bitch, she's got a different point of view. Because of the way you played her. Because of the way you played her. I'm gonna be your troublemaker. I'm gonna be your troublemaker. Yeah.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
If you hadn't gotten your bottle yet, Easy Liquor app is very easy. I got 2 of them just the other week. Sent to my doorstep there. Bangtail Whiskey, of course, bangtail.com, and the Easy Liquor app is the best way to get your bottle. 750 milliliters will keep you busy for quite some time, depending on how much you end up mixing it with, or you can actually sit there and enjoy it on the rocks, or just swig it, man, just straight out of the bottle too. I've done that too. Bangtail Whiskey and Toir Guitars. I got to ask you about that question here in a little bit as we get to rapid fire. I'll just go ahead and start there too, because I love all the music here on the show. We've kind of talked about the stories behind the songs and the bright future ahead for you. Be sure to check her out across all the digital platforms and Spotify and PaytonHowie.com. So, hey, when you like to settle down and kind of do a little, unwinding, what's your drink of choice?
Well, I mean, I gotta say, I'm 19, so
I should have said non-alcoholic, but you're very more mature than 19. Let me say that.
I appreciate
you
that.
come off as more of like 24, 25. I'm going to say that right there.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate that. I get that sometimes. I'm
non-alcoholic.
But yeah, I got you there. No worries. You're good. I love it. Yeah. So legally, I can't say, but I'm sure. Man, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. See, I mean, I'm kind of like, and people always like give me hate for this, but I love energy drinks, Like I drink energy drinks all the time. And I know they're like absolutely horrible for you, but like whatever, So yeah, I mean, I drink a lot of Bang. I drink a lot of Bang.
Okay.
And, I don't always drink Red Bull. I usually only drink Red Bull when I'm at shows and someone buys it for me. And then I'm like, all right, I guess I'm drinking Red Bull tonight, But other than that, yeah, that's what I got.
That's good stuff right there. And I know, like I said, for me, it's like, well, wind down, good cup of coffee. But then again, it's like, well, I'm going to sit there, can wind up, especially in the morning. Like this morning, I was dragging, girl. I was like, I need my coffee and got to have 2 cups there. And it ends up to be like, 3 cups. And it turns into a long day. So definitely for me, it's a good glass of Bangtail, and definitely, when you do get there in a couple of years, we'll definitely talk about some of the alcoholic side of things there too. All right, what was the most popular program to kind of binge watch? What have you been caught up in lately on TV?
Man, I mean, I haven't. I typically don't watch a whole lot of TV, but when quarantine was going on, I was watching Dolly Parton put out a series called Heart Song. I think Heart Song or Heart Songs, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all like little mini movies based on her songs, and I loved it personally because I love Dolly Parton,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was watching that for a long time. Heart Songs, Dolly Parton on Netflix, so super good.
It's good stuff right there, no doubt. A lot of the artists we had talked to here on the program, they say, well, I get caught up in Yellowstone, or we've done the Outer Banks, or the other one that's called the Ozarks, which are really good out there too, the good crime series with Jason Bateman. So I've been in kind of a lot of things. Cobra Kai was pretty good out there on Netflix, so it depends on what, I guess, taste that you have for a bunch of the series. Last night it was like, for me, I'm sitting here going, yeah, I've got national championship game with Baylor Gonzaga. I've got WrestleMania week for like all the WWE stuff, because it's a big week for WrestleMania that I've watched with a friend of mine for over the past probably 20 plus years. We just get together, just hang out, make some food and enjoy it. Yeah, just all kind of cool stuff. And then I had like the Astros were on playing baseball, and Like, man, I can't watch it. I need like 5 TV screens all up on the wall there. So it's just to watch.
There's too much going on. Too much.
And I got to say this. I'd be remiss if I didn't say congratulations to our Texas Baylor Bears for winning the national championship last night in college basketball. My goodness, put on a clinic over Gonzaga last night. Just a stifling and smothering defense. We'll talk more about that tonight at 6 o'clock on our podcast, The Pitch, which comes on with Zach Stone, Mike Babbo, and Greg Lucas is going to join us tonight. Astros and Rangers legendary broadcaster tonight on The Pitch, a baseball podcast. Yeah, I wear a number of hats here. You know that about me, from the music side to the sports side, which is real good there too. All right, I got to ask you about this one. Do you remember kind of where you were, or the title, or what it was about of the first song that you ever kind of came up with, or you wrote? We talked about F-150 is like authentic, it's yours. But was there something before that you're like, man, if I don't remember the title, I kind of remember what the song was about. Like I wrote it, whether it was on a paper napkin, or you're like, this is just for fun, but it's just something I kind of came up with. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was F-150. That was the first one that I sat. And I mean, I'd done some writing here and there. Not that I can recall, but obviously, yeah, I'd done some writing here and there, and writing with friends. But that was the first song that I was like, that it just came super natural. That was one of those songs that you write in like 15 minutes, you know, and you know exactly what you want to say. And so that was, for me, that was F-150. And that was, that one came super natural, super quick, actually. So yeah, F-150 was that one for me.
I knew that was going to be it too, no doubt. All right, you'll love this one too for rapid fire. Let's say Payton Howie's ordering a pizza, and I can't touch a slice, but Payton can put 2-3 toppings on there that, like, I'm out, and it's just Payton's pizza. What are you choosing, and where from?
And what's that?
And what are you choosing? What kind of pizza just for Payton Howie to enjoy and nobody else? And Papa John's, Pizza Hut, what are we talking about? Or just another pizza place? Where are you getting it from there in Nashville or wherever you've traveled to play a show?
Man, okay, all right. So I gotta say, I probably favorite pizza place, definitely Domino's.
Okay.
And honestly, I don't know. There's not like a specific reason that it's Domino's, but just like growing up, like whenever my family would order pizza, it was just always Domino's. I don't know why, but it was. And I love artichokes. So artichokes for sure.
Oh my God. It's
you
all
probably
you.
don't like artichokes, right? You're like, no.
No.
So good. So good. And I like artichokes. Obviously pepperoni. Pepperoni is the go-to.
Yeah.
And I gotta pick one more. I would have to say either olives or banana peppers.
Okay, I can do some banana peppers, but man, artichokes.
Okay. I like banana peppers, but you don't like artichokes. They're pretty similar.
We are pretty similar with that. For me, I'm like a carnivore, and it's like, well, it's pepperoni sausage, or if I have to do another one, it's like, well, the Canadian bacon and kind of some other beef or whatever. But you know, sometimes it could do the veggies just depending upon where it comes from and kind of what I'm in the mood for. Sometimes it's supreme, sometimes just the meats. It's just kind of whatever I'm in the mood for too. I tell you, it's whatever.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, see, that's good. That's the go-to.
And definitely back to what I was saying about the other question, back to whatever beverage I'm in the mood for. As you know, I've got a 1-year-old now, so sometimes after the day winds down, it's like, yeah, I shouldn't reach in that cabinet, but I'm going for it. Oh, hands off. No, it's time for it. I got to have my favorite beverage right there too as well. Hey, we always love you here on the show. You're one of our favorites, no doubt. The future's bright with you in country music. I love F-150, Run Boy Run, all the great music you keep putting out. Feel free to keep us posted on all the new stuff coming out. The full-length album that's due out this year, the single for Memorial Day. You're always one of my favorites. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for contacting me and just being a great friend of what we're doing here on the Backstage Pass.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Brandon. I appreciate it. And thank y'all so much for watching me. I appreciate it so much.
You got it. And visit her at PaytonHowie.com. And, of course, Run Boy Run is out there as the first single off the new album, no doubt. And appreciate John and everybody. And of course, Reno and Don tuning in. And all of my listeners, good people out there for Payton's page. And definitely, if you missed it, we'll be resharing it coming up a little bit later. And also coming up here in a little bit, 4:30, Ken Wilbur is going to join us, Nashville recording artist. And then tonight at 6, Full House for the Pitch baseball podcast from 6 to 7 on Facebook and our YouTube channel, The Backstage Pass. We'll catch you guys on the other side. Take care.